In the news tonight, primary and secondary schools in the state reopen for first term after long vacation. Governor Obiano calls for collective efforts towards Igbo cultural revival. Many feared dead, others injured in gas explosion in Nasarawa State. And on the foreign scene, gunmen attack Libya Oil Corporation, kill 4 people. Thanks for joining us on ABS News. I am Franklin Onyekachi. Primary and secondary schools in the state have reopened for first-term academic activities for the 2018-2019 academic session with commendable turnout of students and teachers. The resumption came after the long vacation, which began at the end of July. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe monitored the resumption in Oka and environs and now reports.
And academic activities on the reopening day, ABS made a surprise visit to some primary and secondary schools in Oka, the Anambra state capital. The schools visited include Igobike Grammar School, Oka, Community Secondary School, Opuno, Oka, Angel Gabriel Nursery and Basic Schools, Oka, St. John of God Secondary School, Oka, as well as Girls Secondary School, Oka. At each of the schools visited, a large number of students had already begun resumption exercise, a first-term quiz that ushers the students into the new academic calendar. Speaking on the response rate of both the students and the staff, the principal, Igobike Grammar School, Oka, Dr. Uche Anekoku, said the school witnessed 85% student attendance, while up to 98% of the workforce was on duty. Dr. Anekoku noted that the school had already mapped out a clear blueprint for the session and called the attention of the state government to the shortfall of teachers in the school as a result of retirement.
Thank God, because the state government has always put in place sound minds as teachers. Yeah. The other thing we are complaining is that the number keeps diminishing every day by way of retirement.
At St. John of God Secondary School, Oka, students who have just been admitted into the GS1 class have started classes. The principal of the school, Lady Antonia Wanekie, said the immense turnout of the students for the new academic term was because of the educational orientation initiated by the present government.
It's the first day for 2018-2019 academic session. The normal assembly has been held in the assembly ground at 7:30. Almost virtually all the teachers were there. And the students, they come back en masse. Only few of them that were sick, they were in the hospital. The evidence were tendered to the form mistresses.
The Vice Principal, Administration, Community Secondary School, Opuno, Mrs. Nkiru Obi, and the Assistant Headmistress, Angel Gabriel Nursery and Basic Schools, Oka, Mrs. Patricia Obelengwa, said the preparatory schedules for the resumption had begun, starting with the implementation of the new scheme of work.
Serious-minded school. So the student knows that once we have started, we have started. That is why they are here today for their resumption exercise.
As long as we started school, that is, everything has resumed. So we have a good number of turn-up. So we even started last week, teachers. We started last week to get ready for everything. Even the lesson notes, the scheme of work, we have copied everything and everything is set.
So Mrs. Uche Ibeneme, the Vice Principal, Special Duties and Public Relations Officer, Girls Secondary School, Oka, ascribed the impressive turnout of the students to a renewed interest in learning after staying away for a long time. The first term of the 2018-2019 academic session for primary and secondary schools in the state is expected to run till mid-December this year. In Oka, Daniel Ezigwe, reporting for ABS News.
Property worth hundreds of thousands of naira have been razed down by a fire outbreak from the second floor of a 2-story building situated at number 18 Banugo Street, Onitsha. The cause of the fire is, however, a subject of controversy, as the landlord was pointing accusing fingers in the direction of one of his tenants, while neighbors blame it on power surge from electric current. According to the landlord, Mr. Achike Chukura, who lives at the first flat of the second floor of the burnt house, the fire started around 10 o'clock from the back flat of the second building before it spread to his flat. He alleged that one of his tenants set his house on fire because of increase in the house rent and lamented the huge loss he sustained. A resident of the area who spoke behind the camera said she was in her compound when she heard a sound from the switch at the passage of the second floor. Immediately electricity was restored, and insisted that after the sound, smoke started from there and generated the fire. ABS crew met men of the State Fire Service from Ubuku and Building Materials Market Ugidi, who were assisted by residents of the area to extinguish the fire. Another resident of the area, engineer Tony Okechukwu, lamented what he called late arrival of the firefighters despite the governor's efforts at giving them state-of-the-art fighting ambulance and other facilities. It was a show of rich tradition and culture at the Chinemeze Palace in Teje, Oyi local council area, as the traditional ruler of the town, Igwe Rolando Debo, and Nteje community performed this year's Alomo. The event, which was to thank God for a bountiful harvest, attracted Ndi Ichie Nteje from the 3 quarters of the community, government officials, Abga faithful, Ndi Nteje, friends and well-wishers who converged on the palace to felicitate with Igwe Odebo. Correspondent Amaka Chibuzo Koye was there for ABS and now reports.
The Alomuo, which also features the New Yam celebration, started with prayer by Igwe Odebo and pouring of libation to their ancestors for a successful farming season, as well as progress in the community. Facilitating with Nteje community, Governor Willie Obiano said, revival of Anambra and Igbo culture is among his top priority, and disclosed that the state set to organize a cultural day. Governor Obiano, represented by the Chief of Staff, Mr. Primus Odele, noted that New Yam Festival brings Ndigbo together and teaches all the gains of hard work, and dismissed the notion that it is fetish, noting that it is a period to thank God for providing for the people.
Mmekọrịta igosi na Igbo kwenyelu na aka aja aja na-ebute ọnụ mmanụ ọ bụ na ejebe ịkọ ji afụfụ ka a na-ata wee lụọ ọ na-akụziri ụmụaka na ndị Igbo na ịlụsi ọrụ ike na-enwere ụgwọ dị n'ime ya nke ndị na hard work pays ya bụ na ife anyị na-eme mmịa tata ịwa ji bụ igosi na afụfụ atalụ wee chee ji ọ ga-akọli ya o wee pue wee too wee mee wee gwue ya n'olu ya ka a na-eli tata.
The Commissioner for Works, Road, Infrastructure, Furniture and Maintenance, Engineer Maso Elifejiofo, said the event helps to promote and teach the young generations about their cultures, calling on Ndi Nteje to rally around Igwe Odebo and give him all necessary support. On their part, the Director, Media and Communication, Southeast Governors Forum, Secretariat Enugu, Mr. Mike Uda, and a member of the ABS Board of Directors, Mr. Marcel Manafa, commended Igwe Odebo for promoting Igbo cultural heritage, noting that the festival brings back Igbo sons and daughters to discuss important issues on community development.
Igbo Odebo bụ onye anwụle ka ọ bụ ezigbo mmadụ ruo enwere ezigbo ugwu na Anambra steeti ruo onye nke anyị na ABS anyị bịara tata ka anyị malụ anyị aka kwado ihe n'ihe ọ na-eme tata.
While appreciating those who came to the event, Igwe Odebo extolled Governor Obiano for promoting culture and traditions, calling on all to go back and assist in reviving the Igbo culture.
I say I lost one, so I'm broke. What telling you to Nteje? What telling you to Anambra State? The governor I go governor Willie Obiano. The way I receive go to Anambra. One night go, I really do here one. I really live in Nazola and Yamba. I really do one. The national do see government. I really do one. Chubu because you go down Anambra State. Gozie Nteje. Gozie ndị enyi anyị ndị Imo steeti, ọ na Anambra ndị Igbo nwanne. Gozie Ebonyi, gozie Enugu, gozie Abia. Nye anyị ọmịiko, mee ka udo dị n'etiti anyị niile.
The Alo masquerading, Uvie dance and other side attractions form the highlights.
Meanwhile, the State Deputy Governor, Dr. Nkemo Okeke, has extolled the traditional institution for assisting in ensuring peace, tranquility and cordial relationship in their different communities. Dr. Okeke stated this at the Chinemeze Palace in Nteje during the 2018 Alomo Festival of the traditional ruler of Nteje, Igwe Rolando Debo. Amaka Chibuzo Koye once again reports.
Dr. Okeke said that New Year Festival is a period to celebrate bumper harvest of food items and stated that the present administration is doing all within its powers to encourage agriculture and culture. Dr. Okeke charged Igwe Odebo to continue with his good work for the community, praying God for brighter future.
Pray that I continue he will live a long life. He is doing well for his community, and he will continue to do well. He has the support of the government, and we're behind him. Before them.
The Commissioner for Agriculture, Mechanization, Processing and Exports, Mr. Afam Banefo, in his remarks, maintained that Alomo is a unique culture in Igbo land, used to thank God for a good harvest and pray for coming season, stating that his ministry has done a lot to encourage youths and women to put in more efforts in agriculture, as well giving support to other farmers.
And it's also if ndị Igbo ji ekene Chukwu for a good harvest. Ni emego a lot. Edition na youth na ụmụ nwanyị by more into agriculture.
In their separate speeches, a former Commissioner for Information and Culture, Chief Maja Ume, and industrialist Mr. Chukwuma Emengini, and Dr. Okechukwu Agunwa observed that yam is the king of all crops, and as such, Ndi Igbo respect and celebrate its arrival every year to thank God, advising Ndi Ntejek to close rank with Igwe Odebo to further develop the community. Also speaking, the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, Oka Nze Uchenwora, said the establishment will continue to promote culture and tradition through information dissemination to remind Ndi Igbo in diaspora where they came from.
Our father na ABS.
In appreciation, Igwe Odebo stated categorically that Alomua is not fetish and called on his subjects to champion the cause of peace and progress. Igwe Odebo had earlier organized interactive sessions with all the children in the community where he empowered them with educational materials, among others. From Chinemeze Palace, Nteje, Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Ms. Chidinma Ezofo, a student of College of Education Technical Umunze, has won a brand new Samsung Android phone for correctly answering a Bible quiz question on ABS phone-in program Gospel Trivial. Kenechukwu Chukwudi, who was at the prize presentation, brings us details.
Was presented to Ms. Chidinma, who is from Ekulobia, by Mrs. Ifi Onachukwu, the show anchor, and another presenter, Mrs. Nneka Ekunife. Mrs. Onachukwu said that the program comes on air every Sunday between 8:15 a.m. to 9 a.m. Hitherto had no sponsors, not until listeners started enjoying the program and started donating money for recharge cards for the Bible quiz winners. Though she noted that for a little while, there has not been winners until last Sunday when Chidinma won the Samsung Android phone, courtesy of Igwe Christopher Idigo, the traditional ruler of Agulere Kingdom, an ardent listener of the program.
Started about 2 months ago when Igwe Agulere, Ogalagidi, Igwe Christopher Idigo, suddenly called the MD and said, I love this program and I need to support it in one way or the other. And he donated 20,000 naira initially. I said people can win 10,000 naira each. I said, where would the money come from? So we now decided that we would just divide the money into small bits, 1,000. People started winning. Then all of a sudden he just appeared about last month. He didn't even discuss with anybody. He just walked into the shop, bought a Samsung Galaxy Prime Pro. And called us to come and pick it. That anybody that's good. That's good. That he loves God and the program makes him feel good about God. So we placed the prize for almost a month and nobody won it. And then yesterday she called in. A lot of people called in and they kept failing. But then she called in and her voice was very tiny when she was saying this one would not even know what to answer. But then after the questions, she got the questions. I said, see, we are depending on you. We need to dispense of this. So after the fourth question, she got it. Then everybody was just saying, God, please, let this be true. The fifth question, she got it, and she became the proud winner of this Samsung Galaxy phone.
Mrs. Nneka Ekwunife, who co-presented the gifts to the winner, commended the good work of the anchor and producer, Mrs. Onachukwu, for helping to propagate the gospel, while also encouraging the youth to align themselves with the things of God by constantly reading the Bible, making the benefits of the program innumerable.
And I know that each and every one of us puts our trust in God. N'aka Chineke ka anyị tinyere ihe niile, ụgbọ anyị dị n'aka ya, ndụ anyị dị n'aka, and everything. Yes. Say that again. And onye ọ sị na onye ya emere ebere ka ya emere ebere. Yes. Onye ya eme eze ka ya eme eze. And so I know you might be wondering what is happening. I have my professional colleague, Ifi Onachukwu, right here. Ifi is the producer, presenter of Gospel Trivia. Time for you to learn more about God and Bible and His Word. You know, it's a quiz kind of, and so when you call in and you answer the questions correctly, you win a prize.
The winner, Mrs. Ezofo, expressed her joy and appreciation to the producers of the program, which she said is reaching out to many and inspiring the young, urging the youths to always read their Bible and also listen to the program as they might become lucky winners as her.
The youths, I encourage them to read the Bible. It's very important. I'm very grateful to Igwe, Christopher, Idigo, yes, and also the management and staff of ABS Oka. I'm very, very happy. I'm grateful.
And of course to Ifi for picking yourself.
In Oka, it's been Kenechukwu Chukwudi for ABS News.
Top-notchers of the APC in Imo State have formally joined the ABGA party, collapsing their structures with hundreds of thousands of their supporters into their new party. The APC Imo coalition was led by the National Organizing Secretary of APC, Senator Usta Izunaso, one-time Deputy Governor of Imo State and former gubernatorial candidate, Senator Ifeanyi Ararume, among other bigwigs. The 6-week intensive negotiation between ABGA and APC Imo coalition finally led to the collapse of the structures of the APC coalition into ABGA. The last lap of the meeting that produced the alliance was held yesterday at ABGA National Headquarters in Abuja. Announcing the outcome of the meeting, the national chairman of ABGA, Ozonbu Victor Ikeoye, who presided over the numerous meetings in company of ABGA National Secretary Labaram Marku, thanked all those that contributed to its success and assured the new entrants of a level playing field. Chief Oye acknowledged the invaluable contributions of Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State, Senator Victor Ume, and members of the National Working Committee that participated in the discussions at very critical stages to the success of the alliance. Meanwhile, the national chairman of ABGA, Dr. Oye, says the party has postponed the deadline for the submission of expression of interest and nomination forms. In a statement released by him, Dr. Oye said due to the forthcoming retreat for aspirants and the need to give those that purchase expression of interest and nomination forms sufficient time to complete and return them, the deadline for the submission of the forms for all elective offices has been moved from September 11, 2018 to September 14, 2018. The screening of House of Assembly aspirants has also been moved to September 15 and 16, 2018. The dates for other primary election activities remain as published. Gas explosion in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, has killed many people and left over 50 others receiving treatment for various degrees of burns at the Dalhatu Araf Specialist Hospital. The explosion, which happened on Monday morning at about 10 a.m., was said to be as a result of a gas leakage from Monaco Gas Refuel Station located in the premises of Natsim Petrol Station. An eyewitness, Mr. Livingston Chukwu, said the leaked gas did not cause immediate damage to the gas and petrol stations until it made contact with the exhaust of commercial motorcyclists, setting over 20 people ablaze in an instant as cars on the road also caught fire, burning the occupants. The incident, which coincided with the visit to the PDP secretariat by the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, left those who earlier converged on the party secretariat running for their dear lives. When our reporter visited the casualty unit of the Dalhatu Araf Specialist Hospital, Lafia, it was littered with burnt bodies of victims of the gas explosion as medical personnel of the hospital battled to save their lives. Sympathizers thronged out in their hundreds at the hospital premises to catch a glimpse of the horrific incident when victims of the inferno were conveyed in by the officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) from the spot of the explosion. And on the foreign scene, oil prices rose on Monday as U.S. drilling for new production stalled and as the market eyed tighter conditions once Washington's sanctions against Iran's crude exports kick in from November. Oil Brent crude futures climbed to $77.33 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were at $68.19 per barrel from their last settlement. The U.S. rig count has stagnated since May after staging a recovery since 2016, which followed a steep slump the previous year amid plummeting crude prices. Outside the U.S., new U.S. sanctions against Iran's crude exports from November were helping push up prices. Energy consultancy FGE said several major Iran customers like India, Japan, and South Korea were already cutting back on Iran crude. Nigerian comedian Bright Ubocha, popularly known as Basket Mouth, has again emerged winner of the 2018 edition of the Savannah Pan-African Comic of the Year, organized by South African Savannah Comics Choice Awards. He beat 4 other African comedians to clinch the coveted title in Johannesburg, South Africa. Basket Mouth, who won the maiden edition of the Savannah Pan-African Comic of the Year award in 2017, has once again been nominated in the same category this year. Before 2017, the annual South African Savannah Comics Choice Awards, SCCA, was strictly for South African comedians. However, last year, it extended one of its categories to other parts of Africa. Hence, the category is called the Savannah Pan-African Comic of the Year. Meanwhile, Basket Mouth will be hosting his signature show, Lots of the Ribs Comedy Festival, on September 29 and 30, 2018 at the Eco Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. The foreign comedians slated to perform that night include Capone, J.J. Williams, Kevin J., Alfred Kaina, Salvador Mfo Pops. And on the Nigerian corner, it will be likes of Buchi, Oke Bakassi, I Go Save, Senator, Funny Bone, and Dan the Humorous that will thrill the audience. Armed men have stormed the headquarters of Libya's National Oil Corporation, NOC, in Tripoli, killing at least 2 of the firm's staff and wounding 10 others. 2 of the gunmen were also killed in the attack as security forces fought to regain control of the landmark glass-fronted building in the center of the Libyan capital. Forces linked to Libya's UN-backed government published pictures of a leg which is said belonged to one of the gunmen who had blown himself up. No group has so far claimed responsibility for the attack. At least one explosion rocked the building soon after the attackers went in, starting a fire that swiftly spread through the lower floors. According to officials, photos posted on social media show firefighters trying to evacuate people from the building's top floors and wounded people being carried away from the scene. And on sports, Gules Hiddink has been tasked with ensuring China qualified for the finals of the 2020 Olympic Games football tournament after the former Real Madrid and Netherlands coach was handed the reins of the country's under-21 team on Monday. Hiddink, 71, becomes the latest big-name coach to move to China since the country's president, Xi Jinping, stated his desire for the nation to become a global football power. The Dutchman joins fellow European Cup-winning coach Marcelo Lippi on the payroll of the CFA, with the Italian World Cup winner currently preparing the senior team for the finals of the Asian Cup in the United Arab Emirates in January. Top coaches such as Luis Felipe Scolari, Fabio Capello, Manuel Pellegrini, and Andrea Villas-Boas have also had stints with the clubs in the Chinese Super League. Hiddink's appointment was announced on the Chinese FA's official website. It said he had been tasked with leading the country through to the 2020 Asian Under-23 Championship, which serves as the continent's final qualifier for the Olympic Games. Hidink is no stranger to football in the region, having led South Korea to the semi-finals of the 2002 World Cup before taking Australia to the last 16 for the first time 4 years later in Germany. His most recent job saw him work as an interim head coach with English Premier League side Chelsea. China has not appeared at the Olympic football finals since 2008, when Beijing hosted the Games and the team was given an automatic berth. And that's the size of our news package tonight. But remember that you can listen to news and programs on ABS 88.5 FM from any part of the world by logging on to our website, www.absradio.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And just before we go, another look at the top stories. Primary and secondary schools in the state have reopened for first term after the long vacation. Governor Obiano has called for collective efforts towards Igbo cultural revival. The governor was speaking at the New Yam Festival of Nteje community. Many feared dead, others injured in gas explosion in Nasarawa State. And government have attacked Libya Oil Corporation and killed 4 people. And that's the news. Thanks for watching. I am Franklin Onyekachi. Good night.